Connecticut's Lime Rock Park slogan is Road Racing Center of the East, but to everybody else, it's known as Road Racing's Bull Ring. Today, all 4 divisions of the Pirelli World Challenge Championships will battle. It's a 4th of July extravaganza. Revs coming up, we're green.
Big move coming off the 3.
2, 3, 4 abreast in some spots.
Side-by-side action.
He absolutely nailed it.
Three-way battle.
And we've got an incident. You would expect nothing less.
Oh, clips the inside apex.
Very racy. This is going to get interesting.
That is a brave move. What a pass. This is what World Challenge is all about.
The Pirelli World Challenge has been here 15 times to Lime Rock Park, but since the last time, it has been 5 years. Way overdue for this series to return to one of the great tracks in North America. Hi everybody, I'm Greg Creamer, and welcome to the Pirelli World Challenge at Lime Rock Park. It is the Cadillac Lime Rock Park Grand Prix, and we have got a great show for you today. One of the big stories here is simple. Heat. It is very hot. It is humid. It is taking a toll on everybody, including the drivers in the cars. That is going to be a major story. And as always at Lime Rock, it's a track called the Bull Ring of road racing, and there's a reason for that. Just over 1.5 miles. It is fast, furious, intense. We have huge fields in both of the classes, categories that are going to be racing here, the TC and TCB and the GT and GTS. That means keeping a clean race, keeping your car out of trouble is going to be paramount. That and surviving this heat and humidity. It's going to be a great day of racing. We've got it all coming up for you. And to take us into the next stage, let's get up to the booth, as always, and my partner, Calvin Fish.
Thanks, Greg. What a beautiful setting here at Lime Rock Park. The fans will certainly see a lot of action on this bull ring this afternoon. And as always, with multi-class racing, it'll be a real chess match in traffic. Let's have Johnny Red show us the Cadillac key corners.
Hi, I'm Johnny O'Connell. This weekend we are at Lime Rock Park, and these are the Cadillac key corners. Turns 1 and 2, done in 3rd gear. You fight a little bit of understeer, you get into your apex, now you accelerate aggressively out. You can actually see me there, catching the rear end of the car. The only left-hand corner on the racetrack, still in 3rd gear. Okay, now we come through turn 4. Love this corner. Up into 4th gear, now down a very difficult straightaway, no-name straightaway. Hard to get by, guys. Up into 5th gear, now to one of the most exciting corners on the racetrack. Turn 5, down into 4th gear, full throttle. Whoa, you pull a wheelie when you come over there. That's where all the photographers hang out. Into 5th gear, now West Bend, down to 4th gear. Get into your apex, use all the road coming out. Into 5th gear here, this place is fast, into the downhill. Lift off the throttle, get it into your apex, full throttle back on it. Believe it or not, that is how fast a lap happens here at Lime Rock Park.
Let's take a look, Cal, at our Motul braking zone.
Well, Greg, the lap here at Lime Rock Park is fast, it is furious, it happens in a hurry. You complete the lap coming through the diving turn, and it's down the main straightaway into our Motul braking zone. It's going to be a lot of action here today. They're going to be hard on the brakes. The cars are really going to dance around a lot, heading down into Big Bend, and there's going to be trying to make an inside move there, but it is very bumpy on the inside.
Yeah, this track presents so many challenges, and that passing zone, the Motul braking zone, down at the end of what was just unveiled now as the Sam Posey Straight. There it is. Look at that signage right there. Fantastic, and congratulations to Sam. Well earned indeed. Let's take a look at our Motul Touring Car B-Spec Pole Award winner. Johan Schwartz from Denmark has a lot of laps here, sort of a home base for him, and he gets his first pole. And in the touring car category, the Motul Pole Award goes to returning and defending champion Michael Cooper. Missed the Circuit of the Americas triple header, but has come back awfully strong here. And as we take a look at the highlights from this first round, Cooper did get the jump, but John Miller in that Titan Motorsports car on the outside, very, very racy early. Down to the inside here, Cal, not quite enough, but Miller made his intentions pretty clear.
Absolutely, he's on form all weekend long.
And we had some new entrants. Jeff Rika bringing the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, for instance. And in Touring Car B, Johan Schwartz on pole, quickly gathered up by Robbie Davis. And then Robbie laid a nice move on Johan.
Yeah, it's just a nice clean move there in Big Bend. And then a little bit later on, John Miller, having battled for the lead in Touring Car, goes for a ride.
And then a big moment for Johan Schwartz coming out of the S's, lost a wheel, and his Mini ended up parked to the side. He was done. That brought out the lone full course caution on the restart. Davis, Charlie James, and then Ernie Francis, points leader coming in, coming up and after it. And watch what happens here. Mike Cooper in the lead, Brett Sandberg in second, but then Cooper has an issue, Cal.
Well, you can hear the wheel spin up over the jump. We're on board with Sandberg there. He takes the lead. His teammate Racini tries to go with him, gets tagged by Cooper, and goes for a ride.
Fortunately, kept it off the tires, but that allowed Brett Sandberg to take his second straight touring car win. with Winchester, player in the points right there in second. Speaking of points, Ernie Francis Jr. gets his first defeat of the year because he had a mechanical issue, ended up stopped, and Robbie Davis brings it home with a big win. Now, as we take a look at the results, Sandberg, Winchester, and rookie Clark Topey coming up in the Kia Forte Coupe, a new addition to the championship. Son of Artie Topey, a GTS racer, a tremendous run. But these guys at the back, Cal, they have to turn it around in 15 minutes to get going. Some of them not going to be able to do it. So problems there. Now here's a look at the touring car B-Spec results.
Well, as you mentioned, Greg, Ernie Francis Jr. for the first time this year doesn't see the top step of the podium. Davis gets it done today.
So there's Brett Sandberg doing a little celebrating. As I said, won the last race at Circuit of the Americas, wins another one here. When we come back, highlights from race 2. It was a short turnaround. Crowd trying to get any kind of relief from the heat and sun and humidity here, but enjoying some great racing. Good look at Shea Holbrook and her True Car Honda Fit getting ready for round 2. Not much they can do in the short break count.
Limited changes, Greg. Rotate those Pirelli tires or maybe change just one. Several crews are thrashing after the action we saw in round 4, of course.
I would agree. Let's take a look at our Motul Pole Award winners based on finishing order in that first of the doubleheaders. So Robbie Davis in Touring Car B-Spec will start up front. And in the touring car, based on his win, it will be Brett Sandberg in that gear tie Compass 360 number 70, starting on the overall and touring car pole. And let's get you to some highlights. At the start, it was Sandberg on the inside, teammate Winchester, but once again, John Miller became racy early.
Yeah, he's had a lot of pace here this weekend. He certainly puts the pressure on early.
And Rob Holland up from 8th to 4th there in that blue Emic VW, trying to join that fight. And these guys were able to open it up. For young Clark Topey, maybe his only mistake of the weekend, just a quick loop.
Coming off that podium finish in round 4.
Yeah, very impressive. There's a look at Shea Holbrook, jumped up into 3rd with a great start, then got into a battle with Charlie James, got around her here and picked up that 3rd spot. Shea in 4th, all of them chasing these guys overall against Sandberg and Winchester, just driving away from the pack.
The Compass 360s running 1-2, looking for their 5th consecutive 1-2 finish here today.
And here's some battling and some serious traffic. Look at John Miller, the rookie Rima Rushidi, side by side trying to work through some of this touring car B-Spec traffic. It was this fierce throughout, but at the checkers, once again, Sandberg now getting his 3rd straight win, adding the double wins here so far to his win at the finale at Circuit of the Americas, and Robbie Davis doing the double here as well in the Mini Financial Services Cooper.
And Sandberg and Davis with their wins now take the lead in their respective classes.
Let's take a look at those results. It was Sandberg with a win over Winchester and Rushidi, so a sweep by Compass 360. Miller close. Randy Hale in the Mazda making his first start here this season up into 5th. Cody Ellsworth very fast, in fact, would be on pole for round 6.
And Robbie Davis, you see him there at the top of the heap. Ernie Francis Jr. didn't start this race. That's really hurt him in the points.
And it's also going to be a huge issue in the 3rd of the triple header here, because if you don't start race 2, your starting lineup is based on fast lap. In that race, you're going to be starting at the back. So when we come back, we are going to have race highlights from the 3rd and final of the triple header here, round 6 of the championship. Compass 360 enjoying that podium. Welcome back, everybody, to the Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix weekend here at Lime Rock Park, part of the Pirelli World Challenge Championships. First, let's talk touring car B-Spec. Our Motul pole award, Charlie James, setting fast lap in round 5, so puts him on pole for this 6th round of the championship, 3rd of the triple header. And there is the rookie Cody Ellsworth in that Redcom Berg Racing Porsche. Just a great story coming in. First start this weekend, and in only his 3rd run, essentially on pole. But when it came to launch, he had a little problem getting away, Cal.
He got Compass 360'd here, Greg. Look at this. 3 of them get around him going into the first turn.
Ryan Winchester using a clean piece of track to move into the lead. There's the swap, and here we go. This battle. Look at Joel Lipperini coming up and joining this battle for 3rd, trying to get around Robbie Davis. James, Davis, Lipperini, they were going to be at war for a while, and it continued. Great move here by Lipperini.
Yeah, he was on fire here today, Greg. You can see it. He's got the pace, he's got the grip in that Honda, and he's making it stick.
Speaking of getting Compass 360'd, and then also had John Miller dropping wheels, doing a little dirt racing, and then Fernando Ciferlis getting it all upside down here in his CompuLab Mazda. He was fine, but it sure was spectacular.
That's up in West Bend, and fortunately he walked away.
And once again, on the restart, you can see Miller trying to stay with it, but Winchester was not going to be denied today. Great move, and Lipperini and Davis, once again, the battle rejoined.
Yeah, they show how you can race here at Lime Rock Park. It's a bull ring, and you can go side by side. Lipperini kisses him a little bit, down the no-name straightaway, and then makes the outside move using the cushion, Greg.
Absolutely, through the uphill, stays on the outside around West Bend, completes it right there. Just incredible in this moment as Tyler Palmer and Charlie James in that blue and white Mini get together once, and then problems here later on for Charlie James. Big off, Cal.
Yeah, you wonder if it maybe cut down a tire there in that earlier move.
And now here's Winchester down onto the front straight once again, picking up the win and completing a great weekend, as always it seems, for the Compass 360 boys. Winchester propels him back on top of the points, and Lipperini in that Race Labs Honda Fit bringing it home for a big win as well. He loves racing at Lime Rock. So in touring car, it was Winchester, Rushidi, and Clark Topi. Another great run for the young rookie over Miller and Sandberg. Holland, Ellsworth as well. And there's the rest of the field. And in touring car B-Spec, what a run by Joel.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic race, great to watch. Change of points lead there with Sandberg finishing down in 5th in touring car. Lipperini, that was a great job. Look at Ernie Francis Jr. from the back of the pack, Greg, all the way up to 2nd and on the podium again.
Yeah, and same story for Johan Schwartz there in 5th. Some great drives throughout the field here, and obviously the problems there. Charlie James also a player in the points. When we come back, we will be looking at our featured race, the first of the doubleheader for GT/GTS, Round 8. The Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix continues. And welcome back to a steamy Lime Rock Park as part of the Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix, all set for Round 8 of the GT and GTS Championships. First of the 2 that will unfold here this weekend. Now let's take a look at our Motul Pole Awards in our 2 categories racing today. Starting it off in the GTS category, it is Andy Lee in that Crown 7 Best IT Bondurant Chevrolet Camaro, and he's been a bit of a pole machine this year. This is 5th on the season. In GT, Johnny O'Connell in that beautiful Cadillac CTS-V.R. It is his 4th pole of the season, right alongside Andy Pilgrim. Good day for the Cadillacs in qualifying, Cal.
He's got a wingman, and he also likes those bonus points for the championship, Greg.
Absolutely. Well, let's get to the front of the grid for our start command with Jim Verpel out of Cadillac.
On behalf of our friends at Optima Batteries and all of our Cadillac dealers and employees worldwide, welcome to the Cadillac Grand Prix at Lime Rock. Drivers, start your engines.
It's a sound that we love. 37 machines coming to life here on the Sam Posey Straight at Lime Rock Park. A beautiful 4th of July weekend. Could be a little cooler, but otherwise absolutely fabulous. Great day for racing. There's a look at the Cadillac CTS-V pace car, courtesy of our great partners at Cadillac. Let's get you to the official starting lineup. Front row, as we said, all Cadillacs. Johnny O'Connell on the inside on pole. Andy Pilgrim alongside. Great qualifying day for them. In that second row, Mike Skeen in the Hawk Performance Chevy Corvette. Best qualifying effort of the season, joined by Randy Popes in the K-Pax Racing Volvo S60R. We go to row number 3. It's all Global Motorsports Group Audis. On the inside, Duncan Endy in the Standorg Merchant Services version, out qualifying team principal James Sofronis, a points leader in his Mobil 1 Audi. Then Alex Figge in the K-Pax Racing Volvo. Inside row 4, joined by Tim Pappas in the Black Swan Mercedes-AMG SLS GT3. In row number 5, inside Oliver Bryan from England, test and development driver for Mercedes in the Fusion Worldwide entry, and the number 10 of Alex Welch in the Spider Lasso GMG entry. And row 6, Bill Ziegler in the Swisher Racing Audi, and Tim Bell in the Hawk Performance Nissan GTR. Cal, goods in GTS.
5th GTS pole of the year for Andy Lee in the Bondurant Crown 7 Best IT Camaro, and making an all Chevy front row, Lawson Aschenbach in the Black Dog Speed Shop Camaro. Next up, championship leader Jack Baldwin in the Motul StopTech Cayman, alongside Mark Wilkins, coming off a win in Detroit with the Kia Motors America Optima. Row 10, a great run for rookie Stephen Goldman in the ZSA Motorsport Cayman S. Starting beside him, the always fast Tom Long in the Taggart Autosport Lotus Exige. A pair of real-time HPD Acuras on row 11, led by 7-time champion former winner here Petey Cunningham and his veteran teammate Ika Sayan. Row 12, big progress for Robert Stout with the TRD Locus Oil Scion FRS. And starting alongside, it's Tony Gaples in the second of the Black Dog Speed Shop Chevy Camaros. On row 13, it's Brad Adams and the Voodoo Dat Dog Yo MTV Raps Mustang, and longtime Viper competitor Ben Keating in the TRG Aston. Row 14 is rookie Jim Taggart in the second of the Taggart Autosport Lotus Exige, and another rookie Mitch Landry in the Versacrane Mustang. Next row is Buzz McCall in his Motul StopTech Porsche Cayman, and rookie Drew Regeets in the Association Voice Premier Copier BMW. Leading row 16 is Mark Clennon in the Champ BMW M3. Next to him it's Harry Curtin in the second of the Best IT Bondurant Camaros. Next up is Artie Topi, who also has his son racing here this weekend, and great to have Don Ishtuk back in the Multec Exhaust Stasis Audi. Row 18 is Rick Boucher in his Motul Nissan 370Z, and Ryan Kleeman in the DXD Clutches Nissan 370Z. final row, engine problems for Alec Udell leaves him with a lot of work to do in the Motorsports Development Mustang, and Nick Johnson also failed to post a lap in qualifying after driveline issues in practice.
Yeah, it should be fun watching them come up through the pack. There is a look at our Cadillac Escalade, our official safety vehicle, again courtesy of our partners at Cadillac, our safety specialists on board, and great to have that here. And when we come back, we will have the start of round 8 of the championship. The Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix continues. Stay with us. And welcome back to our Cadillac Lime Rock Park Grand Prix. Great weekend here, round 8 of the GT/GTS Championship coming up at Cal. What does this heat and humidity do in terms of track surface?
Well, it's going to be hot, Greg. It's going to be hard for the drivers, but it's also going to put a lot of demand on these Pirelli tires. Remember, predominantly right-hand turns here at Lime Rock. That left front tire is going to take a lot of pounding.
And let's take a look at our GoPro Quad Box, Cal, presented by Kia.
It's going to be Rick Boucher. He'll start 21st in GTS, then Brad Adams in the Voodoo Dat Dog Mustang, who'll have qualified 11th. Oliver Bryant, the Brit, will start 9th in GT in the Mercedes SLS. Now championship leader James Sofronis will line up 6th in the GMG Audi.
Yeah, Bryant actually a development driver for Mercedes in developing that GT3 Gullwing. So brought over here, should be fun to see what he can do in the car. And the Cadillac CTS-V pace car making its way down into pit lane. Johnny O'Connell bringing him up. You see the acceleration cones, the GTS field dropping off just a little bit. Boy, a few of them a little late in catching up. Here we go, watch for it. We are doing the rolling start. Johnny O'Connell onto the throttle, timed in beautifully. But look at Mike Skeen, tucks right up behind Pilgrim. If he can make this work, he's through and into second. Pilgrim slips to third.
He does, and I think by Johnny O perfectly timing the start, really caught his teammate out on the outside and allowed Skeen up to second immediately.
And Randy Pope slots into fourth in that blue Volvo with the big yellow stripe down the center. And there is a look at the top 3. There's Pope's coming right into it. And do you think that all-wheel drive will be advantage or disadvantage as this race wears on?
Well, it's a heavy car, so that's certainly going to be a factor, but the all-wheel drive should be good in slippery conditions. But Johnny O has got the perfect start. Remember, we're going to see standing starts here tomorrow, but with the rolling start, the caddy was off.
What an absolute launch he put together. Love it up and over the uphill turn, not using the chicane, so the guy's catching a little bit of air up and over that. You can hear the revs jump. It's awesome. Lime Rock at its best.
Absolutely, Greg. Lime Rock has some great corners, and I think that diving turn is the one that really sorts the men from the boys.
Oh, without a doubt, as we head down into Big Bend, as they call it once again. And there is your leader, Johnny O'Connell, starting to draw away just a little bit from Mike Skeen. Pilgrim right up and under. Oh, Skeen just dropping that left. That's the exit of that climbing turn. And you, as I said, you get very light, and if you don't have the angles just right, it can slip you off to the side, can't it?
You got to be careful, and I think Mike may have been looking in his mirror too at the same time, watching to see where Andy Pilgrim was, because he had closed in on him before the uphill.
Duncan Endy starting to apply some pressure to Randy Popes for fourth. He's in the first of those 2 Global Motorsports Group Audis. His the Standorg Merchant Services entry. There's points leader Sofronis, and then Figgy, and he has got Tim Pappas all over him. Pappas, this is a track where that car really sort of came into its own. He actually was third at the end of one of the practice sessions, and of course, he's from Boston. This is about as home track as it gets for him.
Yeah, he's really coming on strong, really getting to grips now with that Mercedes. They've made a lot of progress with the setup on the car. It's really starting to show in terms of his lap times, but Endy's doing a great job there in 5th spot. He's had success here before in different classes of sports car racing, a couple of podiums in the past, so he feels very much at home here at Lime Rock.
Right now, mirrors full of Cadillac for Mike Skeen, but enjoying a very strong run, as we said, off of the best qualifying of the season. And he's been quick, right in the hunt in every session, and really putting on a strong run today. So looking forward to a good performance from him. And you can see that lead trio now starting to make the break just a little bit, dancing on those brakes. You talked about it, down into turn 1. Here are your leaders in each of the classes. Johnny O'Connell tops it all in GT, Andy Lee in GTS. Welcome back to a hot Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix, and the action on track getting pretty fast and furious as well. We've got a great battle for the lead. 3 cars going after it. Johnny O'Connell, Mike Skeen, Andy Pilgrim, then the little bit of a gap as we hop on board with Mike Skeen in that Hawk Performance Corvette.
And as always, you've got to play the chess match around here with traffic. Not so much right now, but it will be a factor as this race goes on. But you can see the heat haze now off the racetrack, Greg, and that's really going to be a factor as this race goes on. We talk about the demands on these top.
Oh, what a
that
move!
was tight.
Mike Skeen, I think O'Connell got obviously balked by that lap car, and Mike went around the outside. I don't know that there was room for that. Somehow he made it work.
Wow, he was committed there, and Johnny had to get out of the gas just a little bit, and that was enough.
So as we continue riding with Mike Skeen, now your leader, take a look at what's unfolding in GTS. There's your leader there. That is Andy Lee in that Crown 7 Best IT Bondurant Camaro. He's got, I think that is Bill Ziegler splitting him, and Lawson Aschenbach sitting in second in the Black Dog Camaro. And there is Jack Baldwin, points leader in the Motul Stop Tech Porsche Cayman.
What a championship year Jack has been having. But I tell you what, I was going to talk about traffic. I didn't expect it to happen that quickly.
Yeah.
I thought right now they're not seeing a lot of traffic, and boy, Skeen just pounced.
Well, that was the first lap car they saw, and he took his opportunity. That was a pretty spectacular move. Let's give you some updates on opportunities for social media with Pirelli World Challenge, starting with world-challenge.com for all the latest news and views on the Pirelli World Challenge. Then, of course, at world-challengetv.com, you can check out cool in-car video, driver interviews, watch this complete race, and all the other Pirelli World Challenge races online right there. And at Twitter, join the World Challenge Twitter account at twitter.com/WC Racing. Receive instant updates on race weekends from the series. Always pretty friendly in terms of social media. Mike Skeen, I tell you what, this crew must be coming off the wall. It has been a tough season for those boys, and to see their car up front's got to be great, and a good battle shaping up for fourth.
Yeah, it's really starting to heat up here. Popes really hasn't made a move on this lead trio, and Andy's gotten a lot closer. And his teammate and championship leader, James Sophonis, there in the second of those blue and white Audi R8s, is starting to close in on this battle just a little bit.
You know, you talked about predominantly right-hand turns, what it does to a left front tire. With that Volvo having all-wheel drive, that left front's being asked to do an awful lot, and it's being pushed by the rear, isn't it?
It is, and it's a heavy race car, Greg. It has advantages certainly with that all-wheel drive system, but it's a lot of weight that Randy and Alex are having to move around this racetrack.
Boy, Jack Baldwin in that Motul Stop Tech Porsche now is closing in on the back of Lawson Aschenbach. And you would think that around here, a momentum track, that Porsche would be magic, especially later in the race. We'll have to see how that one plays out.
And smooth as what Jack Baldwin has been all season long. He has put together, so far at least, the perfect championship season. Now we see Wilkins there trying to fight his way through a little bit of traffic.
Yeah, that's Don Ishtuk. You mentioned great to have him back in the championship, but he's been away for some time, so just sort of getting back into the groove a little bit, and Wilkins getting through. And boy, this is key for him because of where he sits in that championship.
It really is. He really got a great result at Detroit, had the win and the runner-up finish, closed in Jack in points. Been some performance balancing with this car. They've got a different turbo setup now, lost a little bit of weight, so not as much boost, but that weight should help them over a track like this.
And the guy behind him is a great story. Speaking of momentum cars, that Lotus was going to be strong here. Tom Long, a great pilot. He's got it up into fifth as we hop on board with Randy Popes as he comes up on the back of the hometown boy from upstate New York, Harry Curtin, as Randy slices through.
That was just beautiful. You could see there, no hesitation, just commitment. He knew what sort of acceleration he would have to be able to make that pass before the uphill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Randy's been doing this a long time, four-time champion, so smooth in traffic. And, of course, Terry Curtin, who's from upstate New York, Randy from Gainesville, Georgia. And back to this battle up front. And Skeen getting through traffic very, very cleanly. O'Connell following him through, and it looks like Pilgrim got that group as well, so still staying close.
Well, that Hawk Corvette has always shown speed, Greg. They just sometimes don't have the reliability. They've also been trying to develop the Nissan at the same time. So the CRP team have had a lot to deal with over the last couple of years.
Back on board with leader Mike Skeen, that Hawk Performance Corvette, and just catching traffic at the right time, moving over on the brakes, down into the climbing turn. Listen for the engine note change. Right
I think
there.
he almost gives it a little lift there, it sounded like at least.
Absolutely. So Skeen leading it. Let's take a look at our leaders in our various categories, two of them today. And it's Skeen over O'Connell, Pilgrim, and Popes in GT. In GTS, it continues to be Andy Lee leading Lawson Aschenbach, Jack Baldwin, and Mark Wilkins. We'll be back. Mike Skeen continues to lead here at the Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix, round 8 of the GT and GTS Pirelli World Challenge Championships. And in fact, actually getting a little bit of breathing room as he's working through some traffic here, Cal. But here's the big story, big change in GTS. And we're gonna go back and take a look at it. Watch this.
Look at this, Andy Lee commits to the outside of Brad Adams, coming off the S's, gets forced to the dirt, that opens up the door, Aschenbach is through, and our championship leader, Jack Baldwin.
Another look at it here, and you can see that big wiggle by Andy, and that's when Lawson went through, followed by Jack Baldwin, so that's the stage right now. There is O'Connell, and you can see Skeen way up and away. Skeen has been, one, lucky in when he's caught traffic, but he's executed brilliantly in it.
He has. I mean, he's got a lot of pace. That certainly helps. I think Johnny O'Connell is trying to manage his tyres, thinking about maybe if we get a caution, maybe we'll have some life left in these tyres to have a strong run at the finish. So just experience playing out here a little bit, I think, for the Caddy boys, just waiting and seeing what happens.
And they're starting to get now up into the front running area of the GTS cars, and those guys will be battling fiercely, which makes those passes to try and sneak through there even more difficult. So caution the watchword, but you can't be too careful. You got to get through. Andy Lee now is dropped back, and his work gets a bit more stout right now as he's trying to run down Jack Baldwin. And as I said, I think Baldwin's car is probably going to get better, better, better as this unfolds.
He's just got so much experience, Greg. He's got a great team with him, Goldgrass, in preparing this Motul Cayman S, and he's just using every inch of his experience this year. It's just been remarkable. He came out of the box strong at St. Petersburg, getting the wins there. He just managed this championship incredibly well and just keeps hitting home these podiums week in and week out.
Yeah, his racecraft obviously has been honed over a lot of years. And now Mike Skeen coming up. There's that Black Hawk Performance Corvette, and he's closing on our GTS class leader in that Black Dog Speed Shop Chevrolet Camaro. Boy, did you just see Lawson Aschenbach as he came up and over the rides when he came back down, actually smoked the tires just a little bit on the hammer hard and down through that diving turn. You talked about it, that barrier, that wall out there is just calling your name every lap, isn't it?
It is really demanding. It's a bit like motorsport. If it goes wrong, it's going to go wrong and get ugly.
Down into one, a little bit of traffic in front as he looks down to the inside of Mitch Landry, the Versacrane Mustang. Landry senses, does he, at the last moment? Boy, you can see Lawson being very careful, boy.
Wow.
Maybe he didn't.
Not sure if that was a catch that forced him, hooked him across the other side of the racetrack, but certainly not making it easy on the GTS leaders right now.
Now Baldwin trying to come through as well, and for Baldwin, again, it's a momentum car. Now he gets up the inside, or does he? Down into the uphill turn. He's
Look at
there.
this. Andy Lee's going to have a run on him. Jack had to get on the brakes there, and Andy Lee's trying to force it to the inside now, down into West Bend. That's one of those championship moments, Greg. I mean, Jack Baldwin could not force the issue on the lap traffic there. He had to give way and ultimately give up this track position right now.
And there goes Alex Figge coming through. A little bit of smoke from the backside of Andy Lee's machine.
You could see that as he went through the diving turn. Lee may have a little bit of an issue somewhere in the rear end of that Camaro. We'll have to wait and see how that develops, certainly.
Well, we're on board with him right now and see if we can listen, and if you hear anything that sounds problematic, Cal.
It seems okay right now. So we've seen it earlier in the season, Greg, a couple of times. I think it was even as early as round 1 at St. Petersburg. We saw a little bit of smoke coming. So something, they see it again. Look at that. It's certainly not wheel spin.
No, not
at
at all.
stage. It's not rubber. It's certainly something oil related.
Boy, and Mitch Landry is proving difficult for these guys to get by. Every time they move, he seems to go with them, and obviously that car's got some pretty good straight line speed. I don't know if he's not seeing blue flags or what the issue might be. There's just little wispy bits of smoke as we watch from Jack Baldwin's Motul Stop Tech Porsche on Lee's car. Gets on the throttle, it seems to pick up a little bit. Boy, Jack got a run.
He did get a run. And through that diving turn, you really need to be on the power and maintain it through there. Look at that. Jack deep on the brakes as we see as that Welsh coming through the inside.
Oh, boy. That was Welsh, yeah, that was there. And that, of course, affected him. Jack had to check up, and he just tinked him a little bit. Wow.
Forceful move there by Baldwin. I think he had to take it. Otherwise, if he tried to back out of that situation, it could have got even worse. Oh, look at the smoke now on Lee.
Boy, it is just roiling off of the back of that car. Not sure whether he'll even be able to make the finish, and there's still plenty of racing to go here at the Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix. Class leaders, Mike Skeen continuing in GT, and it is Lawson Aschenbach in GTS. Welcome back to the Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix, round 8 of the Pirelli World Challenge GT and GTS Championships. And there is Mike Skeen continuing to lead away, having a stellar weekend here. And Mitch Landry leading that group of cars chasing as they're trying to get around that Versacrane Mustang. And that's O'Connell, Pilgrim in the mix. Fierce stuff. Traffic as always, and Duncan Endy. Well, I tell you, Cal, he's been so quick so often this year, but just hasn't had the results to show for it.
Hasn't had the best of luck, but I tell you right now, he's coming into his own. He's really starting to gain some confidence. He's now up to the 4th spot, chasing down the caddy, so he's got around Randy Pope, and has a great run going here today.
Speaking of the caddies, there's Johnny O'Connell sitting in 2nd, and he,
huge.
Nick is saying has had a huge hit, and that, I think, that is that diving turn.
Look, Greg, the left front seems to be gone from the car, and he is winded. He is really winded. That is a huge, huge impact.
Boy, I mean, obviously he got into it. Look at that tire bundle behind him as he stands up, so that's good. He's got his hand right. Yeah, that could just be got the wind knocked out of him pretty comprehensively. So now we're under a full course caution. That means the onboard iCar safety lights have come on, provided by Motorsport Safety Electronics. A big development this year. By the way, we got a report from the pits that Nick is saying before he got out of the car, radioed, said he felt a vibration, and then he said it felt like the wheel came off the car. So exactly what you speculated.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't attached there. Sometimes you don't know if it came off in the actual impact or not. So getting ready for green here, Greg.
Yep, pace car is in, and look at skiing right down to the inside. He's saying if you want to try something on me on this restart, you got to go the long way around. Boy, very slowly bringing the field up in that Hawk Performance Vet. There's the acceleration. Timed it beautifully. Johnny couldn't quite go with him. There's Pappas taking a look to the outside. Skiing does hang on down into the corner. And Endy able to survive the outside attack from Randy Popes as we look at teammate Alex Figge. But there it is, skiing O'Connell Pilgrim.
Yeah, I thought Randy Popes might go on the attack here a little bit, trying to get that Volvo around Duncan Endy, that position that he lost just a few laps ago. But up front, Skeen seems to have control right now, but Johnny O with the red mirrors, Johnny Red, starting to put the pressure on.
Boy, he is hounding him. We're going to hop on board now. This is with Alex Welch in the Spider Lasso Global Motorsports Group Audi. A little bit farther back in the field, but on your left, that battle for the lead as we get the great onboard looking up at it and from the shots. And look at this, O'Connell is right there. The two of them have actually drawn away a little bit from Pilgrim.
They have, and Alex Welch is now starting trying to put some pressure on Alex Figge. Figge looks to the inside there, heading down into the West Bend. Doesn't make that move stick. That will cost him some momentum. Maybe Welch can take advantage.
Yeah, that's Oliver Bryant, who is the development driver from England, who's done a lot of work on developing the AMG GT3 Gullwing car. And great to have him over here, certainly giving a little bit of a data baseline for Peter Lasafri and that Green Hornet crew as we're on board with Mike Skeen.
You can really hear the throttle management there through the S. This is really a dancing act through there. You're just trying to modulate that gas pedal, trying to help the car turn a little bit, get the weight on the nose, and he's doing a brilliant job of that.
And not pace those Pirelli P0 slicks too much, as is easy to do here at this track. That group now, the top 5, covered by the proverbial blanket here at the Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix. Skeen, O'Connell, Pilgrim, and Endy, your top 4 in GT. And in GTS, it continues to be LAWSON Aschenbach over Baldwin, Lee, and Mark Wilkins. Heading into the final few laps of the Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix Round 8 of the GT and GTS Championship. There is the battle, LAWSON Aschenbach and Andy Lee going at it for the lead. Andy looking at the outside, couldn't quite get it done, Cal.
Well, he was up posted. We see that smoke there, but the car is hanging on. He got the run around Baldwin in traffic. He wants a victory. It's been feast or famine for Andy Lee this year.
And while we were away, take a look at Tom Long in that Taggart Autosport Lotus USA Exige. He is closing on this duo as we hop on board with Andy Lee, and he's got Jack Baldwin, the points leader, coming up in 4th, so some awfully good stuff into the uphill.
Look at that, Andy Lee runs a little bit wide through Apex there, and Aschenbach is off the road, coming over the uphill, and look at that, Tom Long is right there in that relatively lightweight Lotus Exige. He's got his eyes on a podium here today.
And of course, that caution, it just closed everything up, and it's changing the perspective a little bit. Down onto the front straight, no run by Lee that time. There's Long in the Lotus, there's Baldwin in the Porsche. That's 3rd and 4th, and then Wilkins under attack by Petey Cunningham. Petey looking to the inside, down into Big Bend. Don't know if he was quite close enough to make it work as we are watching Long. He is looking awfully good right now. No, Petey not able to get through.
Yeah, Wilkins hangs on right now, but I think he's hanging on for dear life, certainly with a front-wheel drive car and as much weight as he's got with that Kia. It's going to be management control at this stage, but look at Baldwin. He is coming. He's not off the podium very much just once this year at Detroit. He wants another one here today, Greg.
And look at this, a great run by Steve Goldman. That's the rookie in that ZSA, Motorsport and Trade Management, Porsche Cayman. He has been very quick. Oh, and a big moment there in front of him by Petey Cunningham.
Yeah, he kind of yanked it. He didn't want to get in the grass, but nearly caused more of a problem for him. Just trying to drag it back onto the racetrack. Everyone's really committed at this stage of the game, as you can see.
And there's the second, by the way, of those Kias. Oh, and look at this, as Long defending from Baldwin. Oh boy, Baldwin got a great run, but Long was right where he needed to go.
Yeah, he did. He held the inside line down the straightaway, so Jack wasn't able to get him. But Jack's trading. Oh, some argy-bargy there through Big Bend. Does Baldwin keep the spot into the left-hander? No. Long comes back at him.
Oh, great exchange. Baldwin using the horn again, I think. Yeah, just letting him know I'm here, I'm quicker. And Long is defending huge.
Jack's having fun, I think. I think he's forgotten about the championship for this lap at least anyway. He's going for it.
Yeah, this is downright, outright racing right now in this battle for the final podium spot. And Kia right there with Wilkins, then Cunningham, then Goldman. What I was going to say was Nick Janssen is closing up in the second of those Kia Motors America Kia Optimas behind that entire group as well. A great run from deep in the pack.
Yeah, he came from the very back of the pack, didn't even get a qualifying run in. I think certainly the caution bunched everyone back up, so he's in the mix there. Having a go. Baldwin late
down.
on the brakes.
Contact
That's really
again.
late.
Oof. Long not surviving that one, off into the weeds.
Wow, and Wilkins is through, Cunningham's through. Is there any damage to Tom Long's Lotus? That was a deep and late move by Jack Baldwin.
Yeah, a bit optimistic, I think, just not quite enough alongside. We'll see what happens with that. Baldwin, at least at this point now, has himself in third, and you can see Long has dropped all the way back as the overall leader. Mike Skeen, white flag. We're on our final lap in GT, and it's about to begin in GTS.
Look at Andy Lee. He has got the pressure on. He has a fast race car underneath him. Baldwin's got a lot of momentum too. He's up to third, looking at another podium here today. But the battle up front is intensifying, Greg. Cadillac are coming after Mike Skeen.
Boy, they are, and look at Duncan Andy having a great run here today. Still in fourth, and traffic. Skeen's going to be dealing with some traffic as they come up over the uphill. He's good there. West Bend. O'Connell closing, and he's going to have Brad Adams in front of him. Skeen down to the inside. Can he get it done in the diving turn? He's through. Oh, but he hits the curb. O'Connell checks up to not get into the back of him. And here comes Andy Pilgrim around the outside. Skeen is going to do it, but Pilgrim looks like he got it for second. Kel, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Johnny O going for the victory there in the final corner. I think Skeen had a bobble there as he ran over the curb, Greg. You're right. Cost Johnny O a little bit of exit speed, and Pilgrim was coming. He had to go because Andy was putting on the pressure on him, but this is the battle for GTS.
Oh, man, and smoking, running the wheels off of that Bondurant Best IT Crown 7 Camaro. Can he do it? Can he get by the Black Dog Speed Shop Camaro of Aschenbach? Down the hill, at the line. Awesome. Lawson has just enough in hand. But Andy, I don't know how the car lasted. For starters, look at this battle in the background. That Wilkins trying to fend off Cunningham. Everywhere we look, it's fierce.
Wow, what a race. What a final lap in both classes. Great job by Mike Skeen. Just held on to that perfectly. I think the suspension setup on that Corvette allows him to run that inside curb a little bit. I'd seen him doing it earlier in the race, and he got away with one there because Johnny O had a run on him.
And that CRP crew must be coming unglued with that win finally this year. Let's take a look at the results. Skeen, Pilgrim, look at that margin. Over O'Connell, then Andy and Randy Popes bringing it home in fifth. Safronis, Pappas, Oliver Bryant doing a nice job. And there, 11th and 12th, Ziegler and Tim Bell. A problem at continuing the development of that Nissan GTR for the CRP machines.
In GTS, wow, Lawson, Aschenbach, Andy Lee, they started on the front row together. They maintained that position, but it wasn't that way all of the way. Jack Baldwin, he had that little love tap with Tom Long late in the go. We'll have to wait to see how that one plays out. There you see Nick Janssen up to 12th from the very back of the grid.
There's a good look at podium. We're back with highlights from race 2 coming up. We are back at the Cadillac Lime Rock Grand Prix. Once again, we are about to have highlights from the second of the doubleheader races in GT and GTS. The fastest lap in the race from round 8 gives you your qualifying order in round 9. As a result, our GTS Motul Pole Award winner is Lawson Aschenbach. Had that fast lap in the race, so puts him on the pole, his second of the season. And in GT, the Motul Pole Award winner is Johnny O'Connell with that great lap he put in. So that is his 5th pole of the season. Now, it was a standing start for round number 9. Look at Randy Popes, that all-wheel drive Volvo, always great on the launch, trying to get all the way to the lead, couldn't quite do it. tucks in behind Johnny O'Connell with Andy Pilgrim slotting into third, Figge in fourth, and there's Aschenbach and an absolute train of GTS cars going side by side down into one. Everything sorted out, everybody made it through.
They did, and I think Johnny O was probably a little frustrated with the third place finish yesterday. He was hunting for a win and eventually got to the third step on the podium. Well, here we see Mike Skeen. They did get the car back on track for a lap, but certainly difficulties with the race car.
Now, right here, you see Jack Baldwin, and he takes a look to go underneath Aschenbach, doesn't get it done, but Baldwin was exceptionally racy. He got penalized 20 points after that contact with Tom Long and that Lotus, who's running right behind him there, for avoidable, so he needs points as well as a strong finish. Meanwhile, up front, Johnny O'Connell pretty early into traffic. That's Bill Ziegler making the move over to one of the Audis this weekend, and Randy Post. Watch this moment with Buzz McCall.
Yeah, he's trading a little paint there, and what that does, opens up the door for Andy Pilgrim. We talk about the chess match. Well, he just got a little bit wrong there, and Andy was there and pounced.
And again, watch what happens here. Baldwin working on Aschenbach, not quite able to get it done there. These two had a great scrap for much of the race with Long lurking. Again, that Lotus really strong here. Look at this move here again. Jack inside, outside, doing everything he could at this point to try and find a way by.
Yeah, you can see a different body language of Jack Baldwin here today. He wants more. He wants a win. He's tired of these podiums. He wants maximum points today.
I don't think he wanted anything to do with being caught back in the pack and in traffic, because this is the kind of thing that can happen. Look at that move down underneath. Harry Curtin doing a nice job letting Pilgrim through, but you got to read that well, and then boom! Rick Boucher, one Nissan into the back of another, Brian Kleeman, and big damage to the right front of Boucher's car. He has had one of the worst luck seasons you can imagine, and it continued.
Well, I'm not sure if he just missed his braking point or had a braking problem, but either way, he's went there way too deep and clips the other Nissan, rips off the right front corner.
Now watch what happens here. That is Tim Pappas down underneath Aschenbach. Aschenbach, they actually touch, loosens Aschenbach up. Baldwin pounced.
He did. I mean, Jack was just hounding him all day long, and he's ready to go. Jack has got a fast race car. He just needs now to hit his marks and just try and lay down some laps.
Yeah, that car is, and you know Baldwin's so motivated. The other Lotus, this is Jim Taggart, the team owner, essentially, of the Taggart Autosport. Damage, Cal.
Yeah, you can see the left rear is askew there, so that wasn't his problem. Something that's failed on that Lotus in the rear suspension for him to have that spin.
Now, that did cause a full course caution. The one with Boucher didn't. He got it around into the pits, amazingly. So the iCar safety lights came on, Motorsport Safety Electronics providing that. And when we went back to green, Johnny O'Connell had the lap car of Tim Bell continuing that development for that GTR. He did a nice job getting out of the way, though. And Oliver Bryan aggressive.
Yeah, really aggressive down on the inside. It's really bumpy there if you do use the curbs there down in turn one. And the rest of the racetrack is really smooth. So a little bit of a buffer there for Johnny O with that lap traffic. That allows him to now get back on with the program.
And Baldwin able to survive that restart. Aschenbach gave it a go, but then Baldwin with some clear track just started to set sail.
He was just dominant here today, Greg. He had a really fast race car. I think they tweaked on the car since yesterday, and the Porsche was really working well.
Yeah, it was. It was a solid program. There's Johnny O'Connell working through. You see he's coming up on Baldwin, and the reason that this is key is they were coming up to the checkered flag. Debris on the track, though. Everybody able to skate through it, no issues there. And as they got down through the diving turn onto the front straight, Johnny O pulls to the inside, drives by, and as he came up, picked up the checkered flag, and he picked up yet another win on the season. What a year. It was just a third win for Johnny O, and of course for Jack Baldwin after a long dry spell after sweeping at St. Pete.
Yeah, he gets his third victory of the year, and Johnny O had those two DNFs, so he really dug himself a hole in the points, but another victory here today, that gets him right on the back of James Sophronis.
And for O'Connell, yeah, as you said, closer still in the points. For Baldwin, actually sweeps it out a little bit more and opens it up. Johnny O'Connell celebrating because his next step was up to the top of the box. Here's a look at the results. O'Connell, Pilgrim, and Popst on the podium. Sophronis in fourth. Bryant, great job up into fifth. Pappas, Welch, Endy, Ziegler, and Tim Bell rounded out the top 10. And Mike Skeen right there. Both Alex Figge and Skeen having mechanical issues, but Skeen early, and boy, could have been a different race.
It could have been, because Mike Skeen was awfully fast in round 8 here at Lime Rock Park. On top, Jack Baldwin. It's been a long time since the first rounds at St. Petersburg. Aschenbach was awfully tough today. but Wilkins hanging in the points chase.
Yeah, he's staying close, keeping it interesting to be sure. It's great to see as well. Good points battle shaping up in both of our categories. And there you can see some problems for a number of cars in this one that really took their toll just a little bit as well. Let's take a look at our GT drivers points presented by Volvo after 9 of 14 rounds. Safronis over O'Connell, Pilgrim, Popst, and Skeen, but close between those top two.
Looking at the GT manufacturers' points, it's Cadillac on top, but only 12 ahead of Audi Sport Customer Racing. Volvo sits in third.
Next up, our GTS drivers' points presented by Volvo. Again, just past midpoint of the season. Baldwin stretching that margin out a little bit over Wilkins, but Aschenbach right there in third. Lee and Cunningham round out the top 5.
And our GTS manufacturer points presented by Kia. It's Chevrolet on top. A healthy margin over Kia sits in second. Acura down in third. And fourth on the board is Ford. Well, Lime Rock Park didn't disappoint, Greg. We saw plenty of action. Traffic was certainly a factor, as you would expect here. And Johnny O and the Cadillac boys had a big day.
For Cal Fish, Jeff Leber, I'm Greg Creamer. See ya.